Hi guys, this is Aline with Martin Creatives. I wanted to share today with you a tutorial on how to make a simple folio. These can always be added to your journals. They allow someone to not only add embellishments, but also a place to put special mementos. These are made out of 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So it actually gives you a good base for then utilizing your decorative 12 by 12 cardstock. Let me show you a little bit about what these look like. They're all in a pouch or clutch format. They have a magnetic closure. You open up, there is a pocket on the first page. Here I've added a photo mat. There's another page here. This takes a 4x6 photo. You open it up. This one happens to take a 3x4 photo. This one takes a 2x3 photo. Flip it over, you have another pocket here with another photo card, 4x6. And then your last photo would go on the back page, and again it slips under here and it closes down. So this is one idea. Here's your back. It's not super large, but it's very simple to make. Here's another one that I made utilizing some Tim Holtz papers. Again, I used cardstock, 8.5 by 11. I have a pocket in the front. Here I just insert 2 cardstock for photos, stamped it with a camera, and wrote in place photo here 4x6. Again, I added a little paper clip embellishment. On this page, I did something different. I wanted to allow the placement of multiple 2x3 photos. As we know, whenever you get photo sheets, there's always different sizes available. So this kind of gives you some flexibility. You open it up. Again, you can put a 4x6 photo here. This is another pocket for a 4x6 photo that can go into this slot here. This flips over. Again, you have a 4x6 photo, and here I gave you the option to use a 3x4 photo, and you can overlap them. So that is this particular folio, and then here's the back of this one. And then the last folio I have is same thing, magnetic closure. You open it up, you have a pocket in the front with a photo card, 4x6. Here I've stamped it with a film strip. I've added a little paper clip embellishment. Again, this is a 4x6. Here it tucks underneath the little bird. You open it up, you have a photo mount here, tucks underneath the Kiss Me. You have a photo mount on this side, tucks under this and this. Now, you can always glue your photos down, so just remember that. The back page has a spot for 2x3s. I left this area blank for writing. I added a little chipboard embellishment. These are just some cutouts that I had, which I also added, and you can slip the photo under this one and under this to hold it if you choose to do so. You close it up, and then there's the back side. So, like I said, these are made out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. The tools you're going to need will be a paper cutter and a scoring board. You're going to need 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So you're going to take your 3 pieces of cardstock. 2 of them you're going to score exactly the same. So you're going to place them in your scoreboard to the 11-inch length, long ways. You're going to want to take your bone folder and you want to score at 3, at 9, and 9 1/4. Now, if you're using really thick cardstock so that you don't have a split in your paper, I like to flip mine over, and I also score it again on the opposite side. This just helps to break down the fibers so that you don't get that paper pulling apart. So like I said, you're going to do 2 of these. I'll do another one again. So again, you're going to score at 3. Then you're going to score at 9 and 9 1/4. You want to flip it over, score at 3, go back over the scoring at 9 and 9 1/4. I need it to go in there. There you go. Then your last sheet, you're simply going to score it in half, so that would make it at 5 1/2. Okay, so now that you have your pieces all scored, you're done with your scoreboard, and it's time to fold your pieces. So your one piece, the last piece that you just did, simply folds in half. Use your bone folder or bone tool to flatten it down so it's like this. You're going to set that aside. Now you're going to take your other 2 pieces and you're going to fold them on the score marks as well. So on the one, you have the 1/4 inch fold. So again, you're going to fold it there. Take your bone tool, flatten it out. Okay. It's going to fold over the opposite way. And there's that one. Do the same to the last one. Now, to put this all together, you have 2 options. You can utilize glue, or you can use your tape gun, or you can use your tape independently, depending upon what you have. I have both glue, and then I also have this 1/4 inch lining tape that I like to use. And the reason why I say that is because the glue sometimes gets the paper a little damp, and I'm not a big fan of that. So when you do this, you're going to lay these, the first 2 pieces that have 3 score marks, you're going to lay them exactly the same side by side. What you're going to be doing is taking the small flap on the left one and attaching it to the large flap back of the second one. I hope that makes sense. So basically it goes like this. So I'm going to turn this so I can add my tape here. And the reason why I like the tape is I think it's less mess. It gives her a great bond. I use a little razor blade that I got from the dollar store when I use this tape. That way I get a straight cut and I don't have to worry about it giving me a bunch of problems. I don't know about you guys, but I don't tear the best in the world. So, and to give this added stability, I always try to put 3 strands in. It's just something that works better for me. Then I use my pokey tool here. I'm going to remove, of course, the plastic off of each one. Okay, now I'm ready to stick this. So again, like I said, the best way I've found to do this is to put this on kind of backwards. I line it up. You want to make sure that it does not interfere with the other fold, because that is the main part of getting this put together. So I put it together, I lay it down like this, and then I flatten it out just to make sure it's good and stuck. Now, if you wanted to, you could have created a pocket there. I choose not to, only because I feel that it gives you more stability when it's not there. Now flip this around. I'm sorry I did this kind of backwards, because this is going to be your front, like this, okay? So now what you're gonna do is you're going to take this section here, and you wanna make a pocket. So again, you're going to put tape on your two sides so that you have a place to stick stuff. I'm going to clean it off so it's usable, and you're just going to fold it over. Very simple to make a pocket. I think the fun part with these is more so the decorating, because you just use your imagination and you can really do whatever you want to do with them. It's just, but it is a nice little gift. It's a nice little, you know, momentum, or memento, I should say, to offer to guests or friends or special occasions or birthday parties, you know, Christmas time, anniversaries, weddings. It's just a way to put something special into a folder. So now what I do like to do is I like to kind of pinch mine in so that it gives me a little bit of a raise before it goes down, and it's just easier to put your thing in. So here's your pocket. Now we're going to take this page, and you can decide which side you want your pocket on. So here you can add another pocket. And I think I'm going to put the pocket on this page on the inside. So I have a pocket, a solid page, a solid page, a solid page, a pocket, a solid page. Okay, so now that we have the basic of the folio all put together, the next step is going to be to cut your cardstock out of your 12 by 12 sheets into the following. So you might want to write this down. You're going to cut 3 sheets at 5.5 by 8, 3 at 5 by 8, 3 at 2.5 by 8, and 1 at 2 by 8. These will then give you a 1/4 inch reveal all around the folio. So let's go ahead and get these cut. What I like to do when I cut mine is, first thing obviously is if you have this little decorative band at the top, you want to cut that off to begin with, otherwise you're not going to get an accurate measurement. So then what I do is I turn this around, obviously, and I know that I need to cut 3 at 3.5 by 8. So the first thing I'm going to do, since 8 is my length, I want it to come down flat. I'm going to lay it, obviously with the design going the way in which it's going to lay on the paper. Then I'm going to turn this. This is for my vertical. And now I'm going to cut this at 3.5. Now this particular paper that I'm using has some kind of really cool little decorations in it. So I want to make sure that when I cut it at the right spot. Oh, and I'm sorry, it's 5.5, not 3.5. It looks kind of small. So here's 5.5. Okay. So here's one page. Now, this particular one, I can get 2 sheets out of it, which is really kind of nice because sometimes it just does not work out that way. So here's 2 at 5.5. So now I need to cut another one at 5.5. And I think I'm going to do a solid one. Now if you guys are good at cutting, just go cut all your stuff and you really don't have to pay attention to me doing this. I'm sure everyone knows how to use a cutter. And here I made a boo-boo already. So this is how you waste paper, is not paying attention to what you're doing. See, that's completely wrong because it's too small. So let me put this aside. That's not gonna work at all. Let me do this again. This is gonna be cut at 8. And then I want it to be 5.5. Okay, so now I have my 3 pieces at 5.5 by 8. So I want to set these aside. My next ones are going to be 5 by 8. So again, I think I'll use this paper. What's nice about the paper is it always coordinates with one another, so I really, really like that. It makes it easy to put things together. You don't have to struggle so much with what looks good, what doesn't look good. So there's one 5 by 8. There's another 5 by 8. And it looks like I need to get one more, so I need to get something else decorative. So let me stop this for a moment, pull out another sheet of paper, and then we'll continue. Okay, well, let's continue with making this folio. So as I indicated, I gave you all the measurements on what to cut. You're going to need 3 pieces again at 5.5 by 8, 3 at 5 by 8, 3 at 2.5 by 8, and 1 at 2 by 8. And all of these will fit perfectly into this journal based upon the sizes I've given you. So now it's just a matter of what do you want to do for layout. These are my larger pieces here, and they will pretty much fill up the entire front cover or back cover, leaving a 1/4 inch. So which one do I want to do for the front? I think I want to do this one because I think that gives me the best display of what's on it. So now I have to flip it over, and now I'm going to go to the inside. Now here I have a pocket and a side piece, so I need to decide, what do I want to put here? Do I want stripes? Do I want dots and stripes? Or do I want floral and stripes? I am thinking I'm going to go with the floral and stripes with a little bit of the flower showing. And then I'm going to go with the dots and the stripes, going the opposite way. And then I have stripes with a bunny, which will fill the smaller one. Now I think this makes a cohesive display here. I'm going to flip it over. I have another short piece, so I'm going to put that here. Now I have a area where I got to open this up. I have another solid piece, so that's going to go here. Again, I need to be able to have 2 strips. Oops, I'm missing one, I think. No, hey, stop. No, stop. Okay, and it looks like I'm 1 piece short, so I'm going to have to go back and figure that out, what I did here, but that's okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and lay these ones out so you can see. So this goes here. Oh, actually, no, I'm not sure. You flip it over. This is going to be the back side. So the only one I need to cut for is the flap right here. And we'll see what I want to put there. Okay, well, I've gone ahead and put on the majority of the decorative pieces inside. So when you get this all done, it's kind of look like this. Just so you can see what I've done here. And here's the back. So the last piece I have to do is the flap. Now, again, I like to round my corners slightly. So I did use a 4mm cornering device. I put it in here, and then of course you just snap it and it makes a slight little round. Again, I am using the sticky back tape. And it comes in, I believe, 3 sizes. You can get it in an 1/8 inch, a 1/4 inch, a 1/2, and a 1/2 inch. I'm not sure if it comes any bigger. It may, but those are the sizes that I've used. And well, yes, it can be sometimes a little tedious to do it like this. I don't think that it is really that bad. It does give you a very nice finished product, and that's what you want, is something finished. Now you have to be good at laying it down, because once it touches, that's it. You can't pick it up and move it. So you want to try to get it as even as possible, as close to the ridges that you want. And so this becomes now my flap. So it looks like this. The other thing I like to do is, now you can put a flap on the inside here if you want to. I'm going to leave this just plain cardstock. I don't really see the need to do that or add any more embellishments, but I am going to add a magnet. Now, I'm sure you've seen magnets. The ones that I'm using are a little thick for what this is, but they're the only ones I have at the moment. I do have some coming that are much thinner, so I'm sure they will work fine. But what I do is I take, oh, if I can get it out of here, I take 2 of my magnets, and these are very, very strong magnets, and I separate them so that they're away from the rest of the pack here, because otherwise I could never get them back out. And then I have these sticky dots, and it's exactly what they're called. They're called sticky thumb. They actually work very well, except that sometimes they can be an absolute pain to get apart. So with that said, I usually take 2 of these, and what I like about them is that they're clear, that you don't really see them. It's just that in this case they are a little bit bigger than the magnets that I'm using. So you just want to be careful as, whoops, how you put them down. And try not to get them stuck on something else. As I said, they're very sticky. So they hold these guys really, really well, which is I'm very happy with. But at the same token, it makes it very, very difficult to get the back cover off when you use them. So this pulls off this way, okay. So basically I make a sandwich like this. I'm not sure if you can see this, but here's the sandwich. And then what I do is I pull the backing off and expose the sticky medium circle on the back. It's like a little dot. My finger unstuck from it. Ugh. Like I said, these are not the easiest little guys to work with, but they do overall do a fantastic job. So I've never had something fall apart. Then I kind of pick the middle, and I'm going to stick it down here like this. Then I'm going to peel the other side off. And once this is done, your folio is pretty much 3/4 of the way done, and it now has a solid closure, which a lot of people really like because you do want to make sure that it's lined up before you stick it, and that your edging is straight up and down, so that you don't have any problems with it later down the road. And that's basically it. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to figure out where you want to put photo slots. You can do whatever size you want. Most people use 2x3s, 3x4s, 5x7s, or 4x6. I like to use, in this size of a folio, the 4x6, the 2x3, or the 3x4 mats. And you don't have to make a mat if you don't want to. I just think it kind of looks nice, and it does accentuate the photo once it's placed, because obviously the mat is going to be 1/4 of an inch larger than the photo. So if the photo is 4x6, you want to make your mat 4.5 by 6.5. That allows you to have 1/4 inch all the way around. If you only want an 1/8 inch, you're going to make it 4.25 by 6.25. It really just depends upon how you want to do this. So then these can be glued down, or they can, again, use the sticky tape, place them down. On the ones with the pockets, what I normally do is I will mount my largest photo mount onto a piece of cardstock that's larger with a border. I may round the corners slightly, and then those will allow to tuck in to your spot right here. And you can do this all the way around. Now, you do not have to use always a 4x6 sheet of paper as a backing. As I indicated, sometimes you want to use something smaller. So what I have done here is, here, for example, would be a 2x3. So you could get one in here if you wanted to. And you could get one down in here if you wanted to. So it kind of offsets. Or you could go with a 2x3 here, a 2x3 up here, excuse me, a 2x3 here. Let me back that up. Or I have a 3x4. Now, a 3x4 in this particular sheet is a little large, but if you want to put it up top, you can see what I'm talking about here, and it gives you a space for decorating to the side, to the bottom. It's all based on whatever you want to do. And there you have it, guys, a very simple 3-sheet folio. It is made from 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and then you use your decorative papers to add the accent, and then you go back and you can add embellishments to your heart's content. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I have had fun making these. I think they're a great addition to add to the back of a journal, because it always gives the owner of the journal a place for either photos, mementos of any kind, or tuck spots for tags or writings or whatever they want to put in it. So enjoy your day, have fun, and we will talk at you soon. Bye-bye now.